Hello, it's VixEcoDesigns here again, and in this video I'm going to do invisible darning method on knits, on knitted fabrics. Here I have a 100% wool jumper that's been eaten by a moth. You can see the hole here. It's reasonably small, but still I'm planning to attempt to mend it invisibly so you don't see the hole at all. What I have here is I have a pack of wool, 100% wool thread, which is that brand. I honestly picked it up from a op shop, so I'm not sure where would you get that normally. This thread is a little bit too thick for the threads used to knit this jumper, so I found that if I divide that thread in two halves, like it consists of four little strands, like that. So I am dividing that into 2 and 2, just like that. So I'm basically untwisting the fabric, or the thread, sorry. Oops. So it's done. I have my thread to start. I'm gonna use a wide eye needle. So to start with, I'm going just to pick up all the loops that are loose, coming from underneath the fabric. Let's say I come a centimeter away from the hole, leaving a little tail inside, which I'm going to deal with later, and then I come back where the hole is, picking up the first loop as I go. So here I've got the first loop covered. All right. Then I'm gonna go around that way, pick up all the loose loops so I don't have anything breaking. Okay, now I came back to the point where I've started. I can check to stretch it, see that no more things are getting loose, and it seems to be okay. What I want to do next, I want to pull the hole slightly, not too tight, so I don't see shrinking of the fabric in the middle. And then I'm going to lay some threads in the horizontal and vertical direction, on top of which I'm going to be doing the double stitch later on to make the darning invisible. So I start from that corner since I'm here and go up and then down, then I go up again, coming a little bit further. I hope you see it on the video. And then I go down, I try to hide all the threads that are loose from moth eating underneath. So I've seemed to cover the vertical direction. Now I'm gonna go horizontally and do exactly the same. I want to have a dance structure which would give me the base to do double stitch on top later on. I know it's not really a woven fabric, but I'm trying to weave the threads just a little bit so that the structure is denser. Okay, so now I've covered the hole. As you can see, I'm pulling it aside and it looks quite sturdy. It's not breaking anymore, no threads, no loops coming loose anymore. So what I'm going to do now is to try do double stitch on top of this sort of mark here, which resembles the knitted texture everywhere else, so you would not see that at all. What I'm going to do now, I just want to explain it a little bit more. I'm gonna do a repetitive lines of knit stitches to resemble the ones that you see on the garment. So I start by checking which line is actually perfect and which is not, and I can see that this line seems to be okay, and from there, like in the middle, I can see my threads that are woven to cover the hole. So I'm going to start replicating this line with double stitches. To do this, I've put my thread at the beginning of where the next knit stitch should be, and then I go with my thread upwards and pick up the two threads of an upper knit stitch, which is perfectly fine. Pull the thread through and then go with the needle exactly where I've started and take the needle out on top, down one knit stitch where the next one basically would start. So as you can see, I've done 3 stitches here so far. As you can see, they slightly raise up because obviously there's a new line of threads going on top, but once I treat it with iron, they'll be fine. But they resemble exactly this knit stitch line. Now this line seems to be okay, so what I'm going to do next, I'm going to pull the threads at the top of next line, sorry. And so I will be continuing until I finish patching all the hole. I'm possibly gonna fast forward that and show you the result at the end. Looks like I finished here, so I'm going to just pull the thread onto the other side. Now I have to hide all these threads. Before I hide that one, before I cut it, sorry, I'm gonna hide that one first since I have it already here. What I'm gonna do is just gonna go a few stitches here and there, just like that. Then I just make one tiny knot, pull it, and cut it off. And I want to do exactly the same with the other three now. Now, this is the other side. This is my front side. I'm gonna quickly give it a steam and come back to you and show you the final result. So here we go. This is the final result. You can see where the hole was, just where the stitches are slightly raised up. And if you see properly, look properly on the light, I can see, at least I'm not sure if you can see it in the video, that the threads I was darning with a tiny little bit of a different black shade, although they're both black, but they seem to have just a slightly different sheen. Maybe that's because they haven't been washed yet, and when the garment, like this jumper, would be washed, they will sort of even up and will be the same. But anyway, I think it's quite a good result. You can, well, if you know the hole was there, you'd possibly see that. If you don't, you'll just have a nice jumper you can wear again. Obviously there are a few different things you can do with this sort of darning. If you are a fan of visible mend, what you can do your double stitches with a different color, doing a pattern on top of that. Let's say like any design, or if it's for a child, you can do a little animal embroidery with a double stitch on top and things like that. My intention was to do invisible mending, invisible darning, but you can take it further and do whatever you like. Thank you very much for watching. I will come back soon with invisible darning, with artistic darning part 3, where I would be attempting to do invisible mending of woven fabric again by weaving threads back into fabric. See you soon.